Armenia is the world's oldest Christian nation, a land where faith was not chosen in a cathedral, it was forged underground. Carved into mountains, sealed behind ancient stone walls. Near a sealed border, a stone monastery stands beneath the most sacred mountain in Armenian history, the very place where a man spent 13 years in a pit and changed a civilization. Deep in a narrow valley, an entire monastery was carved directly into the living rock of a mountainside, chamber by chamber, by hand, over centuries. Far south, sheer canyon walls rise in shades of copper and rust around a medieval monastery so perfectly framed by nature, it looks as if it was always meant to be there. And in a quiet village kitchen, hands pass down a bread-making tradition so ancient it once saved a king's life. Join us now and enter the lost wonders of the world's oldest Christian nation. Your journey begins at Khor Virap. Set quietly at the edge of the Ararat plain, this small stone monastery sits beneath the snow-capped peak of Mount Ararat, the most sacred symbol in all of Armenian memory. The name Khor Virap means only two words: deep pit. In the early 4th century, a man named Gregory, later known as Gregory the Illuminator, was thrown into an underground prison here by King Tiridates III. His crime? Refusing to renounce Christianity. He spent 13 years in that pit. In darkness, below the earth, with no light and no certainty of survival. Today, you can descend into that same chamber. A narrow iron ladder takes you down. The air grows cooler with each rung. The walls close in around you. It feels ancient, almost sealed from time. Running your hand along the stone, it is difficult not to feel the full weight of what happened here. Because when Gregory finally emerged from this pit, King Tiridates converted to Christianity. And in 301 AD, Armenia became the first nation in the world to adopt Christianity as its state religion. Every year, pilgrims make the journey to Khor Virap. Not as tourists, as believers. They light candles in the chapel above the pit. They descend into Gregory's prison. They cross themselves in the same darkness where history turned. Standing here with Mount Ararat filling the entire horizon behind you, the connection between this land, this faith, and these people becomes impossible to deny. For Armenians, Khor Virap is not a monument to suffering. It is the place where their identity as a Christian nation was born. From Khor Virap, the journey carries you northeast, deeper into the Armenian highlands, to a monastery unlike anything you have ever seen. Geghard. Named after a relic so sacred, it gave this entire mountain complex its identity. Majestic cliffs wrap around the monastery on 3 sides. The sound of water moving through stone fills the air. The world feels narrower here, quieter. more ancient. The name Geghard means spear, specifically the Holy Lance. In Christian tradition, this is the spear that pierced Jesus on the cross. Armenian church tradition holds that the Apostle Thaddeus brought it here to these very mountains in the 1st century. For hundreds of years, it was kept at Geghard, protected by these mountain walls. Step through the entrance and the daylight softens. Some chambers are built from carved masonry. Others open directly into the mountain itself. Entire rooms cut from living rock by hand over centuries. The air holds a chill that summer cannot reach. Run your fingers across the carved crosses covering the walls. They are everywhere, intricate, deliberate, deeply personal. In the innermost chamber, water trickles from the rock itself. This is the sacred spring traditionally connected to Gregory the Illuminator. You will see visitors press their palms to the cold water, cross themselves quietly, then carry the stillness of it back out into the sunlight with them. It is one of those moments that stays with you long after you leave. UNESCO recognized Geghard in the year 2000, not just as a piece of architecture, but as an expression of the profound bond between the Armenian people, their faith, and the mountain that shelters them. For Armenians, Geghard is proof that faith does not require a grand cathedral. Sometimes, it only requires a mountain. Further south, in the Vyats-Dzor region, a canyon waits for you. The walls rise in shades of copper, rust, and deep red. And there, pressed against the cliff face as if grown from the rock itself, Noravank. At sunset, the monastery and the cliffs glow together, warm orange and gold, bleeding into the evening sky. It is the kind of image that makes you stop, put the camera down, and simply look. Noravank dates to the 13th century. Built for the Orbelian noble family, it became one of the most important religious centers in medieval Armenia, a place of power, patronage, and extraordinary stone craftsmanship. The centerpiece is the two-level Holy Mother of God church. Look closely at the facade. Carved crosses, statues of saints, and intricate knotwork cover every surface, all of it, the work of a master stone carver named Momik, who spent years giving this canyon its eternal signature. Climb the narrow outer staircase to the upper chapel. The steps are steep, the drop beside you is real. But at the top, you turn around and the canyon opens before you. Red walls, blue sky, the monastery far below. It is worth every step. Noravank is also one of the few places in Armenia where the old tradition of apostolic wedding blessings still takes place. A priest crowns the bride and groom. Their vows echo through the canyon walls. Candles flicker in the stone alcoves. Life and history existing in the same breath. For Armenians, Noravank is where sacred architecture and wild nature become one. A place that has never needed anything more than what was already here. There is an old Armenian tale that says Lavash once saved a king. Because this thin bread could hide beneath a soldier's armor. Imagine stepping into a quiet village kitchen. The fire burns inside the toner, the clay oven set into the floor. The air is warm, smoky, and faintly sweet with the smell of wheat. The women gather first. They mix flour, water, and a pinch of salt. Let the dough rest. Their hands move with a quiet certainty that only comes from doing something 1,000 times before. One woman rolls it flat on a low table. Another stretches it thin over a cushioned form. Then the baker leans over the hot toner and in one smooth motion slaps the dough against the clay wall. In seconds, it blisters, puffs, fills the room with the wonderful smell of smoke and warm bread. Peeled from the wall, it is almost translucent. Thin enough to wrap around herbs, soft cheese, or grilled meat. In the past, dried lavash fed shepherds, soldiers, and families through long Armenian winters, stacked high, stored for months, brought back to life with a splash of water. Today, it still graces Armenian tables. Carried in the bags of Armenians living far from home, a piece of identity folded into a thin sheet of bread. UNESCO recognized lavash in 2014 as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Not for what it is made from, but for what it means. For Armenians, lavash is more than bread. It is memory, passed between hands, baked into the walls of every home. This journey through Armenia has carried you across the lost wonders of the world's oldest Christian nation. You have stood beneath Mount Ararat, descended into the pit that changed a civilization, touched the sacred spring at Geghard, watched red cliffs glow at Noravank, felt the warmth of a village toner, and walked the ancient boulevards of a capital older than Rome. Armenia tells a story of survival, deep faith, and a beauty that has endured everything the world has placed in its path. If this journey moved something in you, subscribe to Planet Beyond.